Hi, everybody. So in this video, I'm going to go over syncing grades. Now, if you'll excuse my appearance, I, like everybody else, needs a haircut and maybe some gray hair hidden. So bear with me. So grade sync. To sync or not to sync, that is the question, I guess, a lot of people ask. I sync grades. I've not had a problem with it. Some of the concerns I know people have to do with the end of the semester, if you're rounding grades or making adjustments to grades, and I could see that being a potential concern. A lot of the time, what I end up doing when it comes to rounding grades at the end of the semester is I will go back into Canvas and turn off grade sync when the semester ends before I go and do any of that, so that anything does not change. There's a couple other ways that you could do it. I'd be happy to share with you those via video chat, because yeah, that can definitely be a concern. One of the other concerns has to do with projects or longer papers and kids not, you don't want kids to know that you're grading things in a certain order. So there's a couple ways around that. So if you have your assignments set, I do automatically sync mine to our PowerSchool system. I find it's very efficient. I don't have to worry about going back and entering grades. I do enter some grades on our PowerSchool systems directly. That's usually in-class things that I collect. But if it's something that flows through Canvas, I always use PowerSchool Sync, and it works really well. What I have found is I'm leaning more towards putting all of my grades into Canvas as opposed to entering assignments on the PowerSchool side, because what's neat about Canvas is you can send a message to students if something is missing. So if they haven't taken a test, you can send a batch message out in Canvas. But if I entered those grades into PowerSchool directly, it's harder to do that bulk email. So if you go to the grades tab and you have some assignments set up, you can do a couple of different things. If you have just updated some grades and you want to be that nice teacher that's going to push out grades quickly, you can actually, under Actions, click on the Sync to PowerTeacher Pro. That's what we use, and it will run a grade sync right there. And when I've done that, especially when I've made a mistake on a grade and students pointed that out to me, I do that once in a while, I will do a grade sync, and I'll let the kids know, hey, check PowerSchool maybe in about a half hour. Usually the grades sync by then. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it's really fast, depends on, I guess, the time of day or how many assignments, who knows. But I always tell them, sometime in the next hour or so, you'll be good. Now, if you have an assignment that is going to take you a long time to grade and you don't want kids knowing that theirs was graded, but then their friends wasn't, and why is it taking so long, you can change the grade posting policy. So if you go down to the bottom where it says grade posting policy, you can change it to be manual. And what that does is grades will be hidden by default. So any grades that have been posted will remain visible. So if this is a project or a paper that's going to take you longer, change it to manual right away. And then as you put the grades into Canvas, the students will not receive any notifications or be able to see their grade or any grade change notifications, submission comments, or any curving or anything else that has happened with those assignments until you publish those grades. That can be helpful, because if along the way you realize you made a mistake, you want to make a change, you can go ahead and do that. So you click save, and what you'll see is that assignment will show as manual. Those grades will not go to PowerSchool until you publish that assignment to the gradebook. So if you go down there and you go to grade posting policy, you can post those grades if you want to. Or if you click here and you click on Speed Grader, that's not what I meant to do. We're going to go back. That'll take you into Speed Grader, but from there you can also click on settings. You can see some of your options, and you can go back to the gradebook. And so from there, you can then sync the assignment. But if you're in that assignment, you can hide the grades, you can enter them, you can download the submissions, or you can post it. But I'm going to go back to SpeedGrader because there was something there that I forgot. in SpeedGrader, if you click on this little eyeball, it allows you to post or hide grades. So if you have, say, graded all of the papers for period 1 and you're ready to go and you want to post the grades, you can go ahead and click post. Now you'll have more options if you actually have students. This is a fake student and there's nothing to post because it's not syncing to anywhere, but you can do that. And you can do it by section. It'll give you an option. Do you want to do it just for this section or for all students who've submitted? There's a bunch of different ways you can do it, but I really like the ability to, on particular assignments, change it to manual. On some things, if it's just a simple homework assignment that you can go through real quickly, then it's not a big deal. But if it's something that's going to take you a longer time to grade because you have a lot of them, projects, papers, whatever it might be, manual posting can be really helpful. And then you can post it by section when you're ready to go and you don't get into the whole why was mine graded, hers wasn't, and why is it like that? So you can go ahead and change it to be that way. You can do it for any assignment that you want and publish them whenever you want. But again, the nice thing is if you click on actions and you sync it, you can sync grades right away. So if a student submits something late and you decide you want to update those grades right away, you can by just clicking that. Again, as far as rounding grades at the end of the semester and how does that work into PowerSchool, that gets a little bit trickier, but you can turn off grade sync in Canvas. I know over the years, I've heard teachers have said they've had problems and grades don't sync and then there's mistakes. This is only my second year back in the classroom and my second year using Canvas. I have used grade sync since I began back in the classroom 2 years ago. I have never one time had a problem with a grade sync from Canvas over to PowerSchool. If there was a problem, it was user error and something that I did that messed up a grade. So it's not something where I've seen grades be inaccurate or wrong unless it was something that I entered incorrectly. So I think it works great. I love it. I use it. This is what, 24 years teaching, and I'm only 2 years back using Canvas. So I was in a different role for about 10 years. So I jumped in, started using it. I've had no problem. So if you want to chat about it and how it works, maybe share some of your experiences as to why you might not want to use it, maybe I can convince you otherwise. I think it's a huge, huge time saver, not having to manually post grades or manually enter things from Canvas over to PowerSchool. I don't like having to create extra steps if it's not necessary. So to sync or not to sync, I say sync your grades. But that's just my opinion. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye now.